There's two types of people that smoke weed. You've got one person who smokes weed after a long day of work. They'll say it's just to relax, it's just to ease their anxiety a bit. You get the second person that smokes so much weed that if you replace weed with alcohol, you'd call them an alcoholic. But it's weed, and they'll say that it's not addictive, so it doesn't matter. There's no harmful properties in it. No one's ever died from it. Both people are completely full of shit. The negatives of weed push way past that social norm of you're a lazy stoner. It absolutely destroys you. It destroys your work, your relationships, and your self-love. Back in 2021, I used to smoke a lot of weed. I wasn't really going to school because it was COVID, and I worked in a grocery store, and they were still open because it's an essential business. I was working about 3 days a week, and after every single shift that would end at 10 p.m., I would smoke weed in the forest by myself. It sounds a bit depressing, and back then, I thought it was just to relax. That's what I used to say. And yeah, it did make me relax a lot, but the things that I were doing after I'd smoke weed and the weed itself were so destructive that it wasn't just to relax. I was literally killing myself, essentially. I would smoke weed, go back to the house at like midnight, watch YouTube for the next 2 hours, and just order Uber Eats, and just be sitting there like in this exact chair. This exact chair is where that all happened. And it wasn't good. I mean, what sort of lifestyle does that build up for someone? I was unmotivated because I'd smoke weed the night before, so that I'd get to work the next morning and I'd literally feel stupid. I remember myself working in the freezer after smoking weed the night before. I'd work in the freezer in the morning, and I would be so dumb. The weed would make me so stupid that like I wouldn't be able to like understand what to do. I found it funny at the time, but they'd ask me to go grab the ice, and I'd be like, where's the ice? It's in the freezer, you fucking idiot. Common sense wouldn't click with me. And I just used the excuse that it was to relax after a long day. I worked in a grocery store, and yeah, I was walking around the whole time, but you know what's better than smoking weed to relax? It's actually sleeping. Sleeping makes you relax so much that you don't even move. Right off the bat, if you made it this far in the video and you're not so personally offended that you clicked off, then I think that you should pause the video right now and click that first link in the description. It'll take you to my free school community, and if you're an entrepreneur or you want to escape the 9-to-5 lifestyle, join that, and there's a ton of other entrepreneurs in there waiting for you. You can also connect with me directly, send me a direct message about any issues or any questions you have, and I'd be more than happy to answer. And this is where so many people are going to disagree. There's going to be a weed addict in the comment justifying, just coping at it. And it's absolute bullshit. I mean, people say it makes them more creative. And yeah, you do think of some pretty crazy ideas. I've got a journal. I used to write in this journal all the time when I would smoke weed. And it would just be about stuff. It would just be journaling your thoughts, like stuff you need to fix. And I'd pick it up and I'd start writing in it, and it would just be like all the thoughts would rush to my head. Oh, I gotta fix this. Oh, like I'm smoking weed every night. Like I'm ordering fast food. Like I gotta stop. You wanna know what I'd do the next day? I'd remember it. I'd be like, yeah, I was probably right, but nothing would change. Change doesn't come from smoking weed and journaling. It's like barely even English when you do try to journal because your brain is so fried. Weed will open your mind to the things you need to change, but it's not like that's not possible when you're sober. You know what to change, you just have to do it yourself. So yeah, people will say that it makes them journal or it makes them creative, they want to meditate, they're more calm, but you don't actually put anything into action. Because when you're alone at night and you're smoking weed and you're journaling, you don't improve. That doesn't improve anything, that doesn't change anything. It doesn't matter what you think. You have to take action, and action is what changes things. Yeah, thinking about it is the first step, but then it's action. So if you're not taking action, which most stoners aren't, then what's the point? You're not progressing. You know that drive you have when sometimes there's a hard task you have to do, but you're actually motivated to do it, or you're fiery, you're almost angry a bit. You gotta get something done because you want success. You know, the people that smoke weed just don't get that. And this is the thing, this is where they'll tell me, no, I am motivated, bro. But there's something called weed hangover. And it's very interesting. I call this weed hangover. I don't know what other people call it, but people that don't smoke weed often, they get this. I get this. My friend gets it. You want to know who doesn't get it? My other friend. Oh, he also smokes weed 3 times a week. Weed hangover is after you smoke weed, the next day, you feel stupid, you feel lazy, and just tired. And it's like, you don't feel sick, like you're gonna throw up. You're just so drained, it's like you ran a marathon the previous day. Here's the thing though, people that smoke weed a lot, they don't say that this is a thing. They're like, no, I don't get that, man. It must just be you. But it's because they've smoked so much weed that is now their normal. Weed hangover for them isn't a hangover. That's just called life. And it's sad. It is absolutely draining people's potential and turning people into mush. So I highly recommend this. If you're young and you feel like you want to smoke weed, I've literally been there, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's not great. It is great. It is really, really, really awesome. But if you have a goal and you have somewhere that you want to get to, weed will not help you. Weed will not accelerate that. It will slow you down tremendously. So just keep that in mind and take that how you will.